My name is Angela, and this is my story. Born and raised in Baltimore in a well-known area. I had the normal child life, happy, going to school, plenty of friends. My mom and my dad was very, very strict with me, and I'm thankful for that. I couldn't stay out late at night like my other friends. I was the one who sat on the porch, had to be in before the street lights came on. I had the typical girl's dream of, finding your soulmate, getting married, pursuing your education, being who you want to be, and just living happily ever after. During those times, I saw my girlfriends had different relationships, and I saw them in some relationships that wasn't okay with me. I had friends, girlfriends that were like 12, 13 years old in an abusive relationship already, where their boyfriends were beating on them and hitting on them. The boy hit you, the boy push you, and back then it was because they would say the boys would do that because they like you. And I always said to myself, this would never be me. I would never let a man hit me. I would never let a man tell me what to do. I started dating him, and he showed me how to go out. He took me to nice places. He bought me a lot of nice things. I was introduced into a whole other world that I never experienced and I never was involved in. He was into the streets. It was just like a whole other world for me. It was more like the good girl and the bad guy. We had kids, and we eventually wound up getting married. The house, the car, we had all those nice things. People looking on the outside, looking in, we had the perfect world. People would come over, and they would always, admire what I had. They would come over and say, your house is beautiful. You have all these cars, you dress nice, you have this, you have that. He buy you this, he buy you that. And that's the persona that we put on when people came over. Any woman knows that a woman is the best at masking, and my masking game was on fleek, and it still is. No one knew exactly what was going on in the inside of me and in the inside of my home, because they only saw the outside. In those times, it was a lot of signs. I didn't have to work, not because he was being a provider that he's supposed to be. I didn't have to work because it was the beginning of his controlling stage. He didn't want me to work. He wanted me to be in the house. He wanted me to be secluded. And little by little, I started being secluded and started not going to family functions, not going out with my girlfriends. Only time I would go out was to do things with my kids. Eventually, his whole demeanor, his attitude changed towards me. He started being verbal abusive. He started to break me down from the inside. My self-esteem started to dwindle down. The verbal abuse and emotional abuse, I could no longer take. Those things last a lifetime for most people. Once you're broken down from the inside, you really don't have a defense on the outside. And when I started to learn my worth and started to speak up for myself, that's when the anger and the rage became more. I remember ducking a bottle. He threw a glass bottle at my head, and I moved, and it hit the mirror. And before I knew it, he used to have a machete that he had on the side of his bed. He pulled the machete out the sleeve all in one move and came towards me. I backed up out of the room, and I ducked. And when I ducked, it actually cut a big chunk out of the wall behind me. If I hadn't ducked, he probably would have took my head off or something off of me. Much as I tried to cover up and not let my kids see a lot of things, my son saw that. And that was something that I couldn't take back from him, because he saw it. I couldn't explain it or give an excuse as to why it happened. And at that time, it was a reality check, like, you have to do something. It's time for you to make a move. The man that I was looking at this time was not the man that I married. He had become someone else. He told me he was going to kill me, and he meant what he said. And it was time for me to make a change. At this point, I was not working. My credit was not good, but I went and applied for these places, and I got this place. God was making a way for me. He gave me the courage to leave, and the biggest thing was, how am I going to provide for my kids if I do take that move? And I did. I just jumped out on faith, stepped out there, and he made a way. I was providing for my kids, and I did not know where it was coming from. I learned that everyone has to go through those caterpillar years. A caterpillar is an ugly creature to me, but you have to embrace your caterpillar years. Those are the ugly years, and those are the times then when you're being made and you have to go to that cocoon. But then it's that time for you to come out that cocoon and be that beautiful butterfly that you are. And here today you see the butterfly, but I do not, and I am not and no longer ashamed of my caterpillar years. And I use those years that I have to help other women. Domestic violence is not just physical, it's emotional, it's spiritual, it's mental. And today I have a women group, and the group is called The Butterfly Effect. I have women who come to me for everything. Domestic violence, I talk about emotional abuse, the things that women go through, the hardships. I've had people come to me that were suicidal, that I've talked them out of. And one thing I never say again is I never say never. Because I said it when I was a child, and I wound up being in a situation that I said I would never be in. But I make it my purpose is to help women, to make sure they do not go through what I'm going through. And I believe that there is transformation in being transparent, and there's healing and helping.